Hello and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. My name is Fable, and for the next hour, we are going to do EFT, also known as emotional freedom techniques, together. If you've never heard of it, don't worry. You're in a good spot if you want to learn some really easy to apply techniques that move towards releasing trauma and overwhelm. If it's your first time here, welcome. If it is not your first time here, welcome back. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I'm going to keep giving just a quick rundown of how things work, and then we'll get right into the tapping. And just off the top, I have to apologize. I am symptomatic today. So big chances of me like stumbling on words, looking for things, like trying to correlate. Just, yeah, that's what's going on. If there's like some dead space, it's my brain trying to process. It's a little difficult today. Um, the way we do sessions here is a little bit different than if we were face to face, right? Because I don't have that input from having you in the same room with me. I do things a little bit differently because of that. So we do have a live chat that is active the entire session. Feel free at any time to drop in suggestions there to tap on. The session is based off of whatever is in that chat or whatever emails I may have received. Um, I do my very best to incorporate and acknowledge every suggestion that's given. If I don't exactly suggest what it is that you would like to tap on, I will offer you ways to kind of adjust maybe what I have selected to tap on for that moment. Wow, it's already starting. And I'll do my very best, but hopefully by the end of the session, you'll feel better regardless, because tapping will help adjust your nervous system regardless of the subject matter. And if you have a suggestion, but it just feels a little too vulnerable to put it out there on the internet on a live chat, no worries. You can email me. My email is at the top of the chat. I will also speak it out loud. It is Fable, FABLE, at EFTuniverse.com. And then I can always bring it up the following week anonymously so that you can see how tapping works on that. And if you have questions about stuff, I tend to not answer questions during this because we just want to get to tapping. But I also love receiving questions in my email. I'm here to be an advocate and a support for you in your daily tapping practice, or at least weekly, because we're here weekly together, right? We can do that. All right. Oh, and when we tap, I tend to not go through all of the tapping points. So if you haven't seen those before, if you have, we generally start here and then we go around to certain acupoints on the face and on the body. Uh, and that's a complete tapping protocol. I don't do that because what I don't want is for you to be really involved in whatever's happening in your body and then look at me on the screen and you're still tapping here and I've moved to here. I don't want you to feel pulled out of that experience. Also, if maybe you're having a migraine and tapping anywhere on the head is not going to work for you today, I don't want you to feel like you're doing something wrong or you're messing something up by following me. I want you to follow what your body is asking for. Okay. And if that's staying here the whole time, great. Then as long as you're on one of the points, you are good to go as far as EFT is concerned. Alrighty. With that, I'm going to say hello, and then we'll take just a quick moment to get grounded, and we'll get right into the tap. Okie dokie. Oh, so many comments today. I'm so glad you guys are chatty. Hi, Donette. Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. Hi, Jan. Hi, Marion. Hi, Peg. Hi, Zarina. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hey, Nancy. Oh, you're so kind. Thank you. I'm very, very much a person, but it feels good to be called a heroine. Serena. Okay, let's see. Oh, um, oh, thank you, Marion. Hi, Tanya. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, Nancy. Tapping for sudden, not in a good way news and overwhelmed from that. Sure. Yeah. So maybe like shock and then uncertainty. Like there's so many feelings that can come after that. I'm so sorry for whatever it is that you're going through, Nancy. Thank you for that suggestion. Hi, Mary. Suggesting to tap on physical symptoms of chronic illness. Hey, that's what I'm doing today. Repetitive strain injury. I'm so sorry. Those are so frustrating, especially when they can just happen. You do nothing. Like you reach for something, and in the reaching, it happens. It's. I hear you. Thank you for your suggestion. Hi, Sue. Hi, Blast Scout. Oh, thank you. Feeling seasonal shift and fatigue. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of that. And there's like some cold or virus going around, like multiple states. Like I know so many people who are affected with that right now, with it not being COVID. Hi, Trisha. Ooh, Magenta Mystic. I like your name. Savannah. I also like Savannah. Happy you're here. What happened, Trisha? I just don't feel well. I have some chronic issues that I deal with, and they're just really winning today. So I'm just a little loopy in my head because a lot of my cognition is taken up with just inner body stuff. Like the new do. Thank you. Actually, I started cutting my own hair. I don't. I I go through phases of that where I get brave enough to see if I can do it. We'll see how long this lasts. I agree with physical. I had a sprained ankle for over 6 weeks. Oh, Trisha, I'm so sorry. Um, Serena, I'm happy you're here. It exists because you guys show up. So I love being here with you. Um, and Joy suggesting please tap for a feeling of fragility and weakness. Just don't have any oomph. Ooh, Joy, I love the way that you phrase that. I think that actually fits multiple suggestions. So thank you for writing that. Okay, let's go ahead and take a moment to get grounded. And because I'm uncomfortable in my body today, this presents an interesting opportunity to show you how to ground if being present in your body isn't what you want. If you want to ground in a certain way, but your body's too painful or the emotions are too big, you don't feel safe in your body, then it's not like, well, I can either ground and suffer through that, or I can not ground, stay dissociated. And, like you have to choose one of two things that you don't necessarily want. So I'm glad we get to do this. Go ahead and just take a moment to think about if the way that you are positioned is comfortable. Okay. Just notice if any part of you is kind of like really tense. Are you even just sitting like this? And you need to just let those shoulders drop. Are you hunched forward and you need to find some way to lean back against something? Just think for a moment, is there any way I can make myself a little more comfortable than I am now? And if you can give yourself permission to like lay down on the floor, go lay in your bed, go do that, because this will work best the least amount of effort that your body is having to do just to be present. Okay. So I give you permission to go get as comfy as possible. Okay. And with that, let's go ahead and take a breath in just as deep as it feels comfortable. And let it out. And just sit and be present and breathe normally. Sometimes deep breaths can be lightheaded if you haven't taken one for a while. So go ahead and take another one in now and out. All right. Now we're going to take our hands and we're just going to gently rub them together. We don't have to be trying to like make heat. You don't have to be pushing hard into them. We're just creating sensation. Okay, that's all we're doing is we're drawing attention to this feeling that we have on our palms. And you can do different shapes if you want. You can take one fingertip and gently draw. We just want to draw all of our attention to our hands. And we're not thinking anything right now. No other layer to this other than we're just feeling our hands and recognizing what that feels like. And allowing that to be whatever that is. If it feels good, great. If it kind of tickles, then that's a little annoying. Okay. If it's just neutral, like, yeah, I'm just touching my hands. All of that's good. This is drawing. This is a really gentle way to use your sensory organs to draw attention to this present moment without overtaxing anything. Okay, now I want you to choose a different spot, a spot that is from your neck up. Okay, and you don't have to keep rubbing. You can just touch, just gently touch, but we're going to introduce that same sensory tactile aspect, I'm going to choose to touch my ears. I'm just going to just kind of streak down them, just kind of rub. I'm not, doing any kind of like muscle work with them. I'm just moving my ears because I don't do that very often. So it's like, what is happening right now? Okay, and whatever you're choosing, go ahead and think about one more spot. And this spot I want you to do in between your shoulders and your hips. So it could look like you just wrap your arms around. You can kind of just gently poke your belly. You can run your fingers across your ribs. Oh, that actually feels really nice. Wow. That for me feels really freeing for some reason. I mean, for some reason, I believe it's energy work, but that's not what we talk about on this channel. Alrighty. And whatever you're doing for this last one, go ahead and relax your arms. And let's take one more breath together. Well done. Alrighty. Let me go back to the chat. I saw it move a little bit. Okay. And Savannah saying parts of self and tension with each other, cognitive exhaustion, okay, long-term disability flare-up, recovery, and internal innocence feeling too childish. Interesting. Thank you for that suggestion or those multiple suggestions. Hi, Dr. Scott. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and start with, let's see. I like the word weakness. I think weakness is, oh, good. I'm glad that we're fused, Serena. Yay. There's so many emotions attached to weakness, right? And unfortunately, it's not usually anything of support. It's not, I feel weak, I need to go tell somebody. I feel weak, I need to go, take care of myself. Generally, it's, I feel weak, how embarrassing. I'm so ashamed. I feel weak, they were right about me. I feel weak, it's never going to end. It's all really negative associations typically. I mean, maybe you have something different. When we think of the word weak, it's just kind of a societal buzzword. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take an extra breath because my body's asking for it. And let's go ahead and start tapping while we talk. So when you think about weak, just the word, we're not associating it to anything else right now. What is it that you think about weak by itself, isolated, just the word weak? I think fragile, I think maybe small, not capable, weak, concern, maybe. Concern is something. Anxiety, those are all correlations that I have. Now, take that word, weak, and internalize it. Take this word and apply it to yourself. I'm weak. I am weak. I'm weak. And now what does that do? Do the words change? And for me, they immediately changed. All those other words might be on the list, but they're down lower. For me, it immediately went to shame and embarrassment. Something that I struggled with for a long time, doesn't pop up so much anymore, but was worthy of punishment. So it wasn't just that I wasn't worthy of love or I wasn't acceptable, all of those things that come with a complicated history, but that I was worthy of pain and I was worthy, like I deserved to be targeted and, ugliness put upon. So if that comes up for you, just know that that can be normal and expected, depending on what kind of a complex history you might have with overwhelm and trauma, especially with something like the word weak, right? and if you had not an supportive childhood. Okay, so let's do some phrase work around this. As I consider all of the beliefs and feelings that I have about myself, when I consider myself as weak, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even if, as I call myself weak, it brings up an overwhelming amount of negativity, I still choose right now to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even if right now I feel reactive and overburdened by everything that comes up with I'm weak and I don't know how to change it and I don't know if it will change. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. I wonder what is so awful about being weak? What's so terrible about it? Why is it so inflammatory? What have I been taught to cause me to feel so intensely about the possibility that I'm weak? Hmm. My beliefs, my experiences, my weakness. Maybe, maybe I got in trouble for it. Maybe I was reprimanded and punished for what someone else said was weakness. Maybe I was embarrassed in a moment that I tried something and I couldn't do it, and I labeled it as a weakness. Maybe I've had people or moments where I was deeply judged and they told me that it was because of a weakness. Those are heavy, and I'm not sure that they're fair. I wonder, have I agreed to carry all of this emotional weight, all of these heavy beliefs without making sure that it's something that I agree with? Yes. No. I don't know. Hmm. Okay. Well, I wonder when. When is the first time I can consider being, when I received and accepted, being called weak? And maybe I remember very clearly, maybe I'm not sure, so I kind of have to guess. But even if I'm guessing, is it possible that I was quite young? And I wonder, as a child, did I have the luxury of questioning things that I was told? Did I have the chance to think differently? Or was it expected that I would receive what I was told as a rule, as law? Also, I wonder, was it an appropriate expectation? Maybe I was a child having an enormously overwhelming experience with child things, and I didn't I wasn't met with understanding. Maybe I was met with judgment or harshness, punishments, rules, because the person that I wanted to comfort me reacted coldly instead and told me that my feelings weren't valid and told me that my feelings weren't valid. Therefore, weakness. My weakness. I wonder, is that the word I would use? If I were to go back and put labels on what I was feeling or what was happening, would I use the word weak? Or would I use a different word? My words, my definitions, my expectations around weakness. Okay, maybe there's some things to look into there, but what about now? What does this have to do with me now? Because yes, healing childhood things is important, but I have things I have to do now, and I need this out of my way. I really need to be strong, and I don't feel strong. I need to be tenacious, and it's not there. So, how do I adjust now? Adjusting now, looking for different now. Hmm. I wonder, what response do I feel in my body when I tell myself, even if I don't say it out loud, I'm weak. I'm weak. Where does that resonate? What parts of my body seem to agree? And what is the resonance that they offer in return. As I consider the impact that I receive on my physical body, as I use the words, I'm weak, I hold space to discover a different relationship with this term. Well, I feel it. I feel it in my body. It's not how I want to feel in my body. I wonder, is that a conclusion? Is that the end? Or, or is that feedback? Is that a directional correction? Maybe that's my body saying, this is not the point to push from. Maybe it doesn't mean I'm inherently weak. Maybe it means not that spot, not right now. Because isn't it true that different parts of me take turns being strong and needing a break? Sometimes I do not have the physical energy to run around to 5 different stores, but I can sit and strategize, or I can work through something emotional. Okay? Isn't the reverse also true? Sometimes I cannot think through another phrase or make another list, but I want to get up and move my body. And even sometimes my body won't move, my brain won't think. But is that only weakness? Or are there parts of me that are still working really hard? And maybe they're asking for my help with what they're trying to do. If I would just be still for a moment. Hmm. My signals in my body. Okay. Sure, I could look at it that way. That weakness is a signal, something asking for a break or to rest. But how does that help me now? Because I have to get things done. I have to keep going. I wonder, how does seeing the feeling of weakness as a signal help me move forward? As I ask myself this important question, I deeply and completely accept myself. Maybe this signal is helpful in moving forward by allowing me to approach myself differently. Because while it is true, I do need to keep going, perhaps offering collaboration from where I'm capable will get me further than demanding or fear mongering or bullying myself. And maybe that's scary to think about being soft and kind when what I need is strong and fierce. But isn't it true that every depiction of strength has some sort of nurturing that allows them to maintain that strength? And isn't it true that the only reason that source of strength can receive it is when they're vulnerable? Through that soft, squidgy part, through that quote unquote weakness. Hmm. So maybe I avoid the word weak because there's just a lot attached to that. And instead, I offer to myself a word of comfort, a word of kindness, like soft. Like, I feel really soft today, so I need to be gentle with myself. All right, my body feels like it needs softness, so I'm going to adjust my schedule if I can. And if I can't, I'll dig in and do it, but I'm going to speak softly to myself. Protecting, protecting my softness, collaborating, collaborating with my body signals, permission to choose, choosing functionality that works for me, releasing, releasing any and all stigmas related to past weakness. And as I try out this new way to approach myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, and pause on tapping and take a breath. Now take just a moment. Feel how you're feeling right now in your body. And think about how you felt when we first started this tap and when you thought about, I'm weak, and how that hit in your body. Think about that now and think, I'm weak. And does that feel different? It does for me. I didn't realize how much I needed that. So thank you, all of you, that I needed this today too. Now I feel like, oh, yes, let me take care of you. Let me offer you support and kindness rather than that shame and frustration that I felt earlier. Because I'm a goer, I'm a doer, and when I can't go and do, it's normal for frustrations to be cyclical. They pop back up. They don't disappear after tapping on them one time. What it does do, though, is it gives you a way to connect with yourself and choose a different outcome in minutes. And after it becomes a habit, your brain can start to choose that pathway faster and easier. So I hope that it feels different for you, and that if you were sighing, crying, relaxing, yawning, stretching, having epiphanies, feeling excited, all of those are signs that you did reach a new perspective in the subconscious parts of your brain that are now rewiring to better align with that. And that's amazing, and good job. Alrighty, let's figure out what we're going to tap on next. We may only have time for two today. I'm going to catch up on the chat. Yeah, Dr. Scott, thank you for. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Zarina. The recording, though, will be up for you, so you can. Okay. Oh, I appreciate you guys taking care of each other. Hi, Virginia. Sciatic pain. Oh, that's intense. I'm so sorry you're going through that. Oof, I've had that, and it's debilitating. So I'm sending you love. Oh, Virginia, I'm so glad. Yay. Oh, yay, 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 yay. So glad so many of you are feeling better. Whew. Yes. Yay. Happy dance. Hi, Kira. I'm glad you're here. Alrighty. Let's see what we're going to do next. I want to kind of piggyback on that foundation we just built. And I'm looking for the right words to phrase it. I want something along the lines of, it's okay for me to succeed in the way that I can succeed. But I want it I want to target it a little bit more. What I'm looking for, of like permission to have to go slower than I want to, but I can still get there. I may make more mistakes than I wanted to, but I can still get there. I may have, bigger and deeper feelings than I wanted to attach to this, but I can still get there. But in a way of, but that's my process, and I'm allowed to feel good about that, not just, oh, fine, I'll get there because I'm me, and I just got to drag me along. Because I think it's sometimes really easy to feel that way, especially if you're putting yourself in a place where, or you're finding yourself in a place where a lot of you is being challenged, and it can really feel like the answer to kind of attack yourself for that, for whatever faults or shortcomings that you have. So I have permission. I have permission to exist and succeed. How about that? Let's do that. Okay. Whew. Okay. I'm going to tap here for this one. As I focus in on myself again, and I allow myself to observe my own life kind of from a distance, kind of flat, not emotionally, not in pictures, just maybe kind of facts, touching on my past, my present, definitely my future. As I consider what is currently my life, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even if, as I consider these facts and considerations, I'm not happy with it. And it's not what I want it to look like or feel like. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even if, as I consider where I am and where I want to be, and I have a lot of opinions on myself, I still choose right now, to deeply and completely accept myself anyway. Even if I don't ever reach the goals that I want, I accept myself. Even if I'm confused and it stays hard, I still, yep, I still accept myself. Even if it's not what I want, and I feel that with every cell in my body, I still choose to accept myself. Not my circumstances, not my thoughts, not my beliefs, not my feelings, but I accept me. And I choose that because I have a right to exist. I have a right to do the best that I can and maybe be frustrated with the result. I have a right to want more, to feel like there's more, but not have it yet. I am allowed to exist in this imperfect, frustrating state and still succeed. I have a right to success, even if it's messier and more complicated and other things that I couldn't foresee, that I wasn't expecting. I still have a right to succeed. I wonder, what is succeeding? What does that mean? I know what existing is. I obviously exist. But what do I mean when I say I deserve to succeed? Deserving success. Well, success is when you get there, right? It's when you get what you want. It's when you reach your goal. It's at the end of reaching. It's receiving. Is success receiving? Yes. No. I don't know. As I explore potential meanings of the word success, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I hold space for surprising myself with a new truth. Okay, so success is receiving. I suppose that's true, but receiving what? And and from who? Fair questions. In order to receive something, wouldn't there first have to be reaching for something, a desire, a thought, a plan, action? Okay, sure. I wonder, as I consider what it is that I want to receive and my desire to feel success, do I have really strict rules around what that means? Do I tell myself things like, yeah, but I didn't do it good enough? Yeah, but it took me way longer than it should have. Yeah, but it's the worst one out of everybody's. Yeah, I did it, but this outcome is not what I wanted. Am I really bad at receiving? Is it possible that I'm offered the feelings that I want of success and I don't take them? And maybe it's because I feel like that's expected of me. I'm meant to be modest. So I turn down praise. I turn down recognition. Maybe it doesn't feel safe to receive. Puts a target on my back. I don't want that. Don't give that to me. Maybe I feel like an imposter. I didn't really earn this. I didn't get it the way I was supposed to. So I can't receive it. That would be wrong. As I consider these and other ways that I might reject receiving, I deeply and completely accept myself. I wonder, is my permission to exist currently attached to my ability, my potential to succeed? Am I driven for success, for it to be okay, for me to be worth receiving? Yes. No, I don't know. Whether or not I feel that my drive for success is attached to my permission to exist, I wonder what might happen if I gave myself permission to look for evidence of that support, of safe places to receive right now. What if I practiced receiving? Well, that's ridiculous. Why would I do that? Receiving what and for why? This is just distracting me from needing to go and accomplish things. Even if I feel a pushback when I consider practicing receiving, I give myself permission to let those feelings float around somewhere else right now and allow myself to be curious about what would happen if I practiced receiving. Okay, well, maybe if I allowed myself to receive, it could feel good. Maybe I could trust what I'm receiving, like a compliment of someone caring about me, believing in me, telling me that I've done a good job. What if I did believe that? What if I did believe I'm doing a good job? Even if I'm not done yet, even if I'm making mistakes, even if I'm frustrated with it, even if I look at it and go, I don't agree with you. I don't think that's a good job. But what if? Could that allow me in some way to be succeeding, to be gaining permission to exist and succeed? Because while I have a picture in my brain, in my heart, in my soul of how I would love things to turn out, I don't have control over all of the different aspects, and the outcome is unknown. But what if it were true that I get to have little bits of it? And every time that I find permission to exist, even if it's with my frustration, with my shortcomings, with my mistakes, with my embarrassment, with my big feelings, with doing well, with being good at something, with allowing my talent to shine, with receiving positive things about myself. What if all of those things just had permission to exist? I'll still reach. I still want my success. And that's okay. It's good. It's good to reach for things. And it's really good to receive what's already being given. And it's easier if I allow myself permission to exist and to receive and succeed with me the way that I am. And as I take this perspective and go back to that thought of seen my life kind of laid out as like a architectural plan. And I look at it with this lens. I wonder, how does this feel? Am I engaged more in my strengths? Does it feel more possible because of the parts of me that are speaking louder? Or the parts of me that speak louder but have permission to apply it in a different way rather than be punished? Maybe it could already feel really good. Permission. Permission to exist as I am and receive. Permission to exist as I am and succeed. Permission. My permission. And as I allow myself to remain curious and give this a try, see how maybe I can apply this new perspective as I go throughout the rest of this week. I give myself permission to try it and not try it. I give myself permission to try it only quietly in my own head and not tell anybody else about it. And I give myself permission to notice the changes, and allow myself to choose what works for me. And as I do this, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, pause and take a breath. Good job. Now take just a moment and think about when we first started tapping on that, how it felt to think about permission to exist and succeed, and how it feels now. And it may be subtle, it may be big. It is definitely a complex perspective to apply. There are many parts of you that may speak up when it comes to something like this, because those are two big things to ask your subconscious brain permission for, especially if there's a lot in your history where it wasn't safe and it wasn't supported to have those things. So remain curious. Curious is a very, what's the word? It's kind of magic. There's a better scientific term for it, but it's kind of magic permission for the subconscious brain when something doesn't feel safe. If you're just curious instead, well, I wonder, why does that feel unsafe? Then it allows you to unhook that immediate response and work your way through. And it is possible. Okay. I see a lot of comments coming up, so I will read that and then it will be time to go. So let me just see if there's anything in here anyone's looking for a response to. Yay, yay, yay. We're talking the same problem. Yay. To go slow, do things a little safe now. We can take care of ourselves. Yes. Yes, Savannah. Oh, Karen, I'm so sorry. Sending you lots of love. loss is difficult, and I'm sorry. I'm definitely thinking about you. Yay, Rebecca. Oh, thank you for all the love for Karen and thinking about her with her loss. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Yay, yay, yay. I feel like this was a good session. I mean, not that the others aren't, but I don't know. This just felt like it reached a really tender, important spot, for a lot of us, me included. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your suggestions. It is because of you being here and because of how you chat, how you talk with me, how you show up for each other, that this session was able to exist. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, and I'll be thinking about you. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope I get to see you next week. If not, there will be a recording posted as always. And send me an email if you've got a question. I know I do post a video every Friday, and that generally comes off of my conversations that I have with you. So, all right, mwah, mwah, mwah. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye.